see there. I was too busy yeeting because I know that Jay is going to beat Gunther at Mania. I hope he does. I can't wait. I got my title right here. Got my yeet glasses. If you look really, really close, you can see my mustache, but I don't want to get too close. So, I know you haven't seen me in a while because I've been busy with school and everything. So yeah, I'm officially here again, but let me grab something real quick. It's nothing exciting, but so I have this little heart. It says smile, if you can't see, and it like comes around, and then it's a sprinky. This is my heart to yours. All to your hearts. We support all of y'all. We love all of y'all, just so you know. So you don't want to hear me talking the whole stream, so here he is. Come on, Corey.
What up? Thank you for that fire intro, Sam. Justice says, hey, Sam.
You're welcome. What up?
All right. Gonna do a little bit of Blender tonight. A little modeling. Stream started just a little bit late because OBS decided to do an update, a forced update at the very last minute, which Justice coincidentally was one of the same problems we looked into for the other issue you had. I had to update some C++ files. Let's see, first I need to update this. I'm down to like 1 week on this glitch thing, so I only have 1 week until I'm going to be forced to change my handle if I don't fix the glitch. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was just I had to download the 64-bit and 86-bit C++ libraries, but it seemed to work just fine after that. I think I'm down to like 7 days on this thing. Let me see. All right. The last thing I did was actually work on the blood tower, so I guess I could open that up again. Okay, go.
So before I head to bed, I got one last thing to say. So no, I know you guys have been wondering when I'm going to do my next video. So that will be very, very soon. It'll maybe be on Thursday or next week. I can't do it on Friday because I'm going to my dad's. So yeah, I might do a chip, like a new chip video. You know how I was saying, him and me are probably gonna do a chip challenge or the spicy gummy bear challenge, which we probably will, and you're being a big baby about it and saying we were gonna die.
Mm-hmm. I was.
Which we weren't. We're not. We can eat 1,000 of those without dying. So we'll definitely maybe try those, or just try some new talkies, stuff like that. Well, if I didn't have school tomorrow morning, I would stay. Pray for me that school's good, because Miss Bonnie.
She could be watching.
She's not.
Gotta be careful.
She's not.
She's tough.
Yeah. She's tough. She definitely know what she's doing. Well, peace. Yeet. Support J Mania.
J Mania.
Yeet.
Good night, Beatbox Kid. All right, let's do, let me see here. Gonna do a render. Really doesn't have to look that great. In fact, it'll make the most sense if we look at it from a really small perspective. I think the obviously the scale of the bricks in there looks a little bit off. Let me pull up a web browser here real quick. Probably won't keep the gold either. In fact, I don't know what I want for these things. Let me go back to... No, I guess shading is correct. So yeah, if I select these and then... In fact, I'm going to delete that texture off of them. And then I'm going to go to Edit, Preferences. Okay, we've got polygon on here. So from here, using the add-on, I can just preview any texture I want that's available on here. So if I want like a polished, whatever this is, let's see what that would, actually, it might not be different enough, but let's take a look. It'll just pop it right on there for me. The question is if it stands out enough when I'm zoomed way out. And it might, because I might change this base texture as well. I'm going to try getting rid of this. We're going to add a principled BDF node. That will need a material output. And then from there, we're just going to add, let's see. Kind of hard to say. We could see what this dark stone looks like. A little messed up on the sides, but in fact, the scale on the very top is bad too. Let's go to the UV editor. And then I want to select just this top one. And then if I scale that down, actually scale it this way. And then yeah, so that did the trick, but I want to get the rest of it about like that as well. So let's select all, and then I want to deselect that top one. Let me see here. Just the top one. So we want... There we go. Now I think if I take the rest of these and scale those upward, that might do the trick. And it mostly did. Just doing some multitasking here. All right, let's see then. I'm happy with the scale there. Then if we take, I think just the side ones here look pretty rough. So I'm going to go back to the UV editing, and I want to, let's see, select nothing, and then select just these faces here. And I don't need the back at all. It's not going to be visible. Let me just take that, maybe these. Come over here and, oops. And then scale those. Still doesn't look super smooth. The UV editing wraps it in a funny direction a little bit. But it's a bit smaller now, which is ideal. Maybe too small on these bottom ones, though. So let's fix that real quick. Yeah, appreciate it, man. It's the blood tower, so soon it's going to be all blood spattered and everything. All right, back in action. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so just go to the UV editing again. And then this one looks so funny. So I'm going to, I think it's this one right here specifically. So if what we have is a 2D image over here on the left. And so for the 3D model, what it does is it applies it to faces as best it can. And so with 3D shaders and textures, you're never going to have perfect seams, but you can try to get them really close. In this game, it doesn't. In this case, it doesn't need to be even nearly perfect because I just need an isometric 2D screenshot, not really a 3D model. So with that being the case, let's see if I zoom out over here. Okay, so it's saying this piece is way over here. Let me look real quick over here. So I'm trying to target this one. So it's like it needs to be rotated 45-ish degrees. Actually, both of these do. One direction or the other. So let's try that. Right about there. Okay, maybe it was like half of that. Let's see, that's like perfectly wrong. If we take it 90 degrees, oops, what is it doing there? It's definitely a little bit goofy. It's like it doesn't want me to be happy. There we go. That's a little bit better. Anyway, maybe the Aztecs or whoever built this just didn't do a very good job. Just kidding. It's all me. Anyway, let's work on these other things. Let's change these other textures. I think let me see, if I go to the render, the white columns probably stand out pretty well. Let me double check something here though. All right, well, I'm going to get rid of these and these. All right, so there's that. Then I was curious about these steps. Now what we're seeing here, this artifact is just basically a watermark. It won't stay there, but if I like the texture, I can select it permanently from the shop. And I'll be right back. And back again. Let's see. Maybe there's a texture here that's not watermarked. Let me take a look. Let's go with free, and then maybe search like marble. might have already had this one, but let's throw that on there so we don't get this watermark. All right, here we go. What do you think? So what I'm trying to envision is this built up against the tower, and then I think I'm gonna paint it a bit, but I'm not sure I'm in love with such a different texture, because it would be for all of these. What else? We could play around with... maybe like this, what is this? Whatever this is, it looks pretty neat. Some kind of metallic with some low-key rust, which is how my knees feel in the morning. It's kind of neat. Why is this one not? Yeah, let's delete these nodes. Okay, I was not happy with that at all. What in the world? These are somehow tied together. How odd. Let me try separating. Go to here. Like, it shouldn't be. Let me look up here in the inspector. Okay, so that is cube 6. It's saying it's already got the new... Tell you what. We're going to delete that. And just duplicate this one. Let's just work smarter. Boom. Let's give it a 90-degree rotation to get a little different... Oops, not that way. Just to give it a little different look from the other one. Rotate it on the... X? No. On the Z axis. All right. Then up here, where I deleted the other row of columns, we're going to duplicate this one, move it over. And then right before I paint anything, the last thing will be these columns. So we could go with the white, but to me it looks a little unfinished. Here's sort of a uniform rusted texture. So now, if I take this color, see, Old Blood actually takes on a bit of a brown, doesn't it? Then I think I need, let's see, the strength is at 100%. Let's make it not that. Let's give it a little more strength. And I think a little more red. That's not coming through very well. It's almost looking more like a candy cane. All right, let's go to a different texture here. Just want to play around with this to give it sort of a bit of a bloodstained look on the steps, but I don't want it like too cartoony. I think I need to bring the strength back down, and then at this point can probably just kind of hand paint it. So let's go with a smaller size. It's pretty funny to see what's happening over on the left. Shows you exactly which part of the texture has been applied to the steps. Alright, so if I zoom out, we get something like that. It almost reminds me of like Doom or something. Unreal Tournament. All right, so if we go back to here, clearly we would need some blood up on the top one. So let's see if we can do this. Might be a little difficult. I might need to separate this. Otherwise, we're going to get sort of wrapping all the way around. I don't know, unless I basically just make it all red. Because it's going to be kind of obvious that the texture's been repeated, and there are obviously ways around that. I just don't want to deal with them tonight. I'd rather just get the model into the game and move on. So here's what I think I'll do. I'm going to step away for a second. Okay, so I wanted to take the top face there. So I need, let's see, let's go to layout. And I want to actually modeling and then select. So those are the seams. I need, see, I think if I select face, it'll be here. And then let's separate. I think I separate it by materials. Let's try that. I better save this whole project as well. Just about 10 more minutes. Nice short little stream here. And then tomorrow night, I'll get this into the game engine. All right, so, oh, no, wrong one. So do I need to give this top one? Trying to think creatively here. I could give it like a rug, which would be a different, slightly different texture right up here at the top. And then that could address the issue. If we did that, we would need to go to layout, a mesh. Let's go with a, I guess, a plane. I'll do a cube. Let's move that up. And for scale, we're going to shrink that down a bit. A little bit, right about there. Then we're going to shrink it down on the Z axis. Right about there. We'll take the, actually maybe a little more flat. Okay, and then finally shrink it along the y-axis. Actually, wrong one. Cancel that. We're going to shrink it on the x-axis. Bring that down. Actually, let's bring it forward. Let's get all up close and personal here with it. Look at those nasty bricks back there. Then lots of things we could do, but it really doesn't matter that much for this use case. Let me just grab a texture that I want to use, and I'll pick one that's different from the others. Actually, I'm curious. If I apply this, what's it going to look like here? Like that almost works just the way it is. Okay, let's go to this thingy. Let's do... the UV unwrap. Then on the UV editor, trying to see if I'm even in love with using that texture right there at all. Not sure in love is the word I would use. All right, so what I want to do is bring this back a little bit. So it's rather beveled. Something like that. I think that'll work for now. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And let's see, it's 10:01. So since this was a short stream, I'm going to be back tomorrow night. And I'll put this back into GDevelop, which we've already got one model in there right now. And then I'll have 6 days until I am glitch. So for everyone who is watching the stream live, thanks so much for your support. And anyone else watching along later, appreciate it. And follow and hit the little bell thingy so that you can see when I go live. And I appreciate hanging out with you. So thanks a lot. And whatever it is you're working on, I hope you have fewer bugs than I do. Thanks.